Let's look at adding and subtracting integers. Okay, there's a couple of rules you need to remember. When signs are the same, you add them and you keep the sign. When signs are different, you subtract the numbers and keep the sign of the bigger. So let's look at it. If we have a negative 11 and a negative 15, they're both negatives. So when we put them together, our answer is going to be negative. Okay, if we had two positives, we put them together, our answer is positive. When you have to think about it is when one is positive and one is negative. So let's look at this. We have 13 negatives and we have 4 positives. See how we have more negatives? Our answer is going to be negative. Okay, we could write it this way. 4 minus 13. If we start with 4 and we take away 13, okay, we would end up at negative 9. On this one, we have a positive 13 and a negative 6. We have more positives. Our answer is going to be positive. 13 minus 6 is equal to positive 7. You can think about this, and this is a good trick. You can think of it like a thermometer, okay? Think of it about like a thermometer with your temperatures. All right, the positives are above 0, negatives below 0. Think of it standing straight up and down. If you have negative 11 degrees and you go down 15 more, you're at negative 26. If you're at negative 13 degrees and you go up 4 degrees, you're still below 0, but you're at negative 9. If you're at positive 13 degrees and you go down 6, you're still above 0. You're at a positive 7. When you're subtracting integers, you can think of it as, you can change this to plus a negative, like they did here. Okay, you learned that when you first learned about integers. It's like adding the opposite, okay? So here, when I have 17 minus negative 11, okay, when I make this, you're adding the opposite. So I would be adding a positive. Anytime, here's the trick they teach you, anytime you see two negatives like that, you're going to make it positive. Okay, when you're subtracting a negative, you're adding a positive. So here I end up with 17 plus 11, which is 28. I have two positives, gives me a positive 28. Here I have a negative 18, and that turns to positive 5. Okay, so a negative 18 and a positive 5, they have a typo on this slide that I did not catch. You're subtracting a negative, makes that positive. Negative 18 and a positive 5, let's mark this out because it's incorrect. I'm going to subtract and get 13, and my answer is going to be negative 13 because I had more negatives than positives. Think about your thermometer. You're at negative 18 degrees, you go up 5, you're at negative 13. Okay? And on this one, if we change negative 18 minus 5 to negative 18 plus a negative 5, see how our signs are the same on this one? They're both negative. So when we add that up, we're going to have negative 23. And we're going to look at this one more problem on this video. On example 5, it says life expectancy for the average American male is 75.1 years. For a female, it's 80.5. The number line shows the points representing the 8 integers here that indicate factors within our control that can stretch or shrink our lifespan. Okay? Now, if you look at this, we have smoking, what that does to you, flossing daily, taking 81 milligrams of, I cannot read that. Let me move to my book, of aspirin per day. Okay? There's different things you can do. They asked us 2 questions on this example. They said, what is the difference in lifespan between a person who regularly works puzzles, okay, that's this one, and a person who eats red meat twice per week? Okay, so eats red meat would be this one. So what is the difference? We would be subtracting here, okay? So we would be doing 6 minus negative 5, okay? I think that one is at negative 5, yes. Let's check. Oops, nope, I had the wrong number here. This is at 5. Let's be careful here. It's going to be 5. Sorry about that. This points right here to the 5, okay? So 5 minus negative 5, we would add that up, and that would be 10. There's 10 years difference between the negative 5 and the positive 5. Let's look at the next one. The next question says, what is the difference in the lifespan between a person with less than 12 years of education? Let's find that. Okay, that's here. Okay, less than 12 years of education, and a person who smokes cigarettes. Okay, that's here. All right, so I'm going to do -6, okay, and then minus -15. Okay, so we're looking at -6 minus -15. This would become positive here. And if we start at 15 degrees and go down 6, we are at +9. So the lifespan is 9 greater, okay? If you are the one who has less than 12 years of education, you're 9 years greater than the person who smokes cigarettes.